Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to April end of March energy report. In regards to last month's energy report, I just want to say I think I did a pretty good job. I'm always very curious of why I get some images and not other images. Like, why in the world did I not see conflict in Ukraine happening? However, the words that I got and the images that I got were all related to this conflict in Ukraine. So when I got the word voluminous, and when I asked the sage, it was about a voluminous amounts of information coming out. Well, we could absolutely say we're like being inundated every day about Russia, Ukraine, every day, just volumes of energy. And it also, in that, when I asked the sage, he was talking about a hack, like lots of hacking would be going on and information released. Well, what you didn't hear on US mainstream news were all the hacks that were happening from the beginning of the conflict. Almost every day, there were reports of hackers, particularly anonymous, hacking into Russian banks, media outlets, and I don't know what they were doing. It's been not well reported, but it has been reported, at least in the US, in the UK Daily Mail, talking about how Anonymous has done all these hacks. So I don't know, will those hacks result in information coming out? Who's to say? But at least I feel I was right on target with that. If I really cared, I would dig deeper and try to get more detail. But I just go with what I'm given and don't dig any further because, it's not necessary. It's just fun. I also got the word tidal wave. And when I asked, it wasn't going to be a tidal wave of information, but it was something physical. And I think that was related to the tsunami alert that happened after the 7 point whatever earthquake in Japan. And while it didn't result in a tsunami, it resulted in big tidal waves, big waves. Anyway, so just saying, did a pretty good job for last month. But once again, my insights are not detailed and I don't ask enough questions because I just don't care. Okay. So what do I see, or what came to me, what was shared with me for the end of March, April? The overall energy word for global energy was moving forward. That was the word. And the image that I got was the Dutch tulips when they're in bloom. I'm pretty sure it's the Dutch tulips. Anyway, those beautiful fields of all the tulips blooming. So that was beautiful. The words that I got for the US energy were destruction and deconstruction. So a continued destruction and deconstruction. The images that I got for the US were army men, like on their stakeout, on the hill with the green and the hats on, really prepared and in the middle of a conflict, or on the mountain watching stuff. And then I saw very, very dark, ominous storm clouds all over the US. And when I panned back, what I saw behind those storm clouds were obviously this beautiful bright sunlight. But right now, what I see through April is really dark storm clouds, and I'll get to what the images mean later. For Ukraine, I saw empty streets, of course, but calm. So sometime in April, if not sooner, this conflict, of course, will come to an end, and the streets will be very calm and empty. For Russia, I saw Putin in a wheelchair. So we'll get to that later. The hexagram for this month, what I got was hexagram 14, which is called possession in great measure, or in other translations, prosperity. And if you recall, the theme that I got for this year of 2022 was hexagram 14. And hexagram, let's cram this in. Hexagram 14, called Possession in Great Measure, is not about material prosperity. It's talking about the prosperity of a person being so in tune with his inner truth that he's living his true uniqueness, he's sovereign within himself. So that's prosperity, true prosperity. And I said for this year that that 14, the gift aspect of the 14, would come into play around the middle of the year to the second half of the year. And so it's no surprise that for this month, we're, somewhat in the middle of the year, not really the middle, but, after the beginning, that we got hexagram 14. So what I got was the sage, I got lines 3 and 4, and the sage is saying that good news, that people are really beginning to tune in to their true selves. They're beginning to let their true selves lead. However, these two shadow lines indicate that we are still stuck in some circumstances in compromising ourselves. And in the Gene Keys speak, the shadow is compromise, and it's compromising our inner truth. We are still doing things that we don't like. And the sage doesn't refer to the big things that we don't like going to a job that we hate. It is the little things that get you, like, I don't know, joining a Zoom group and you don't really like it, but your friends are there. And so you continue to go, or you feel a certain obligation, even though it doesn't resonate with you, even though it wears your energy. So it's the simple little acts that build up, that we compromise ourselves because we feel indebted to somebody else. Or, as line 3 indicates, we have taken on the image of being a noble-hearted person. And of course, the opposite, or the complementary image to being a noble-hearted person is, well, then you're petty. If you don't do this and do what the collective ego says is a noble-hearted person, like showing up and doing something because you feel like, oh, I'm a noble-hearted person, I need to do this for my friend, or whatever the situation. Or you could be called petty. Well, I don't really resonate with the people on this Zoom call. So the collective ego would say, this is petty, okay? And right now, particularly during this conflict, some people may be taking on noble-hearted images like, oh, I have to feel, this is going to sound horrible, I have to feel such compassion and sorry for the Ukraine people, or I have to do something, I have to donate money, I have to be noble-hearted, right? Do not fall into that trap. That's a collective ego trap. Yes, you can feel compassion and empathy, but don't let it take you out of your center. The center is detachment, watching what is going on with no emotional pull or image pull either way. It's a total detachment and trust that the universe knows what it's doing, right? Okay, so that's line 3. Let's see here. Line 4 talks about that now is the time, if ever there was a time, that we have to recognize our own uniqueness. And we hear this all the time, to stop comparing yourselves to anybody else. And I know I fall into the shadow of this all the time, comparing myself, like I'm not, charismatic enough. I don't have, videos that are, whatever. Comparing. And I know that just takes every ounce of my life force and kills it. And so this is a lesson for me as much as for anybody else. But the sage, or the I Ching, indicates that your true purpose one of your true purposes in life is to relate back to the whole, to the cosmos, your own unique perceptions and feelings of things that are going on in the world. Just how you feel and perceive things in life is your purpose, to send that perception back to the whole. Because in doing so, by relating from your own and really appreciating your own uniqueness and your own perception and your own feelings, that contributes to the evolution of the whole. But when you compare yourself and wish, deny yourself your own uniqueness and wish you were better, wish you were something else, then that adds to the devolution of the whole. So you're not doing anybody good, let alone yourself, but the whole. Additionally, when you appreciate your own uniqueness, then that pulls into you, because remember, we always have complementary energies that draws into you, to you, the complementary aspects of your own unique perception into your life, as well as that complement person who's living on this planet. There's a complement to you. So your own uniqueness, when you're standing in your own uniqueness and perceptions and feelings, there is a complementary person out there in the world feeling the complement energies to your energies and perceptions. And when you are standing and appreciating your own gifts, you are allowing your complement to stand in there and to recognize their own uniqueness and gifts. And you bring them more into evolution as you bring yourself into evolution. But eventually, you pull each other together, metaphorically, energetically, and you hit the neutral zone and you come together and you make a whole, and you make the whole, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so if I were to say to myself, I just need to just weather your perceptions, and let me hear this, even if your perceptions are slightly sad or on the quote unquote negative scale, that's how you are. That's how you perceive things. That's just what your makeup is. Now, that doesn't mean it can change, but that's how you are in the moment. That's how you are right now. And you have to appreciate whether you're in anger, sadness, whatever, or joy or bliss. It doesn't matter. You appreciate your own overall perceptions, your own feelings in the moment. God, I'm talking way more than I wanted to on this report. Okay. So please stop. Oh, yes. And the sage also indicates, so we also have to be very, very careful about secretly saying to ourselves how important I am, like my job is so important, or I'm a healer, I'm so important. And the complement to that is neither saying I'm so unimportant, because this totally keeps you from seeing your own uniqueness. So remove those thoughts and phrases, because we've all had them from your vocabulary. Okay, let's move on to clarifying the images. So the flowers that I saw, I asked, was this flowers more about many more people awakening? Yes. Were these awakenings spiritual in nature? And I got a yes, but you need more information. Are these red pill type informations? No, wrong directions. Is this about people really beginning to see the untruths of things happening in the world? Yes, solid yes. But it was also more about people seeing the untruths in their own lives, being able to see the actions that they're doing that are not in alignment with their inner truth. And this is the greatest type of awakening. So seeing the untruths of their own lives and then beginning to follow their own truth. And the sage was very happy with me when I asked that question. I also said, are the tulips, because it's also about spring? And he goes, ding, ding, ding. Hot, yes, you got that right. Okay. As far as the US troops that I saw, I asked, are they involved? Do US troops get involved in a conflict? No. Do we send US troops to the Ukraine? Ding, ding, ding. Are the storm clouds that I saw over the US related to the US involvement with Ukraine? Ding, ding, ding. So there's going to be some ramifications with our involvement in Ukraine. Let's see. And I think these are the ramifications. Are these storm clouds indicative of economic storm clouds? Yes. Is it oil and gas related? Ding, ding, ding. Are we going to experience more supply chain issues? I got a warm yes. Yes, you need more information. And then I asked, oh, the supply chain is going to be gas shortages. Ding, ding, ding. And then I asked food supply, and I got a no, which a one line means no, or you could have answered this yourself. Why are you asking me? So obviously, if there's gas shortages or people unable, there might be some food supply. And so I asked like every month, is it time to stock up? And I always get a no. And once again, I got a no. So I don't think we're going to have really severe supply chain issues, just maybe some gas shortages and skyrocketing gas prices. And I know that people are already discussing this, that this will probably be an issue. Do the storm clouds also represent further breakdown of the US government? Yes. And then I stupidly ask, is the light that I saw behind those storm clouds the origin of all this going on? And of course, Sage said, you could have answered that yourself, but I kept asking and I got a yes. Of course, the light is behind all of this. So not to worry, it's all for good reason. Okay, about Ukraine and the troops there. The streets will be calm, and I think what I'm feeling is that the troops will be called there for security measure, like just to make sure everything stays calm. But what I got was, I was asking, will the people be returning? And I got a no. And I said, and then I asked, people will not be returning to the Ukraine. Ding, ding, ding. So there's going to be some issues, like all the people that left won't be able to return. Obviously, they don't have a lot to return to. So yeah, I don't know if the troops over there are going to be helping with the cleanup, the building, who knows, but it's security measure. I have a feeling. Let's see what else. Putin in a wheelchair. So I asked, is this just Putin? Because I understand that he's undergoing cancer treatments, or that's the rumor. But I think from what I've gotten before, there's some other things going on. So I asked, is Putin just simply exhausted? Because I saw him being wheeled off somewhere, like literally off like a stage, and turns out to be correct. Is he just simply exhausted? No, wrong direction. Is this about his health? No, no, no. And I kept asking about some health issues, and I kept getting no, 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 wrong direction. And I asked, is this wheelchair thing a metaphor for something else? Yes, thank God, finally she asked. And then I kept thinking, what does being in a wheelchair represent? And what I got was, is he being taken care of? And I asked, so is this a metaphor for him, Putin, being taken care of? And I got a yes. But what does that mean, being taken care of? I don't know. I guess it could mean something. But then I asked, is this something about him being wheeled off the stage, being wheeled off the world stage? Ding, ding, ding. And that's what the metaphor of Putin in a wheelchair is. He was being wheeled off the world stage. So there you go. Sorry, once again, another long video, but you'll get over it or not. I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks, and we'll check in next time. Bye.